Up to the sun, let's come together. I know. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fall. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget it. You from Lower Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa City. I'm a bad way on your river, I walk on the fine way. Tabila, I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Freeland on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I was raised in the swamp, but I chilled with my gun. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bone. True son of the soil, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love LIB. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I holding your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. So that's what I say when I come with ball. When I chillin' on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this team. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, I'm joining the team. You go where you pella, you lama or crown. Who kill it? Who got shown up?
I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Freeland on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Mama was born, yeah. Papa was born, yeah. They hold us together, the honey boy, yeah. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kubo. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kubo. Nabalike la koya na papa kubo.
Freeland on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah, yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah, yeah.
Even though it's small, but together we can fix it. That is a reconciliatory, reconciliatory comment. Even though it's small, together we can fix it. I love Liberia. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a kind of beautiful way to welcome you this wonderful Monday evening to the program Open Conversation. Open Conversation is Liberia's biggest platform on ELBC 99.9, and the program that talks about what's happening in the country and how we can be able to build our country together. So my name is Washington Tappet Jr., and this is how I'd like to welcome you to the program Open Conversation, a 2-hour current affairs program that talks about the major happenings in Liberia. Let me now welcome in my host. Welcome and good evening.
Good evening, Washington. It's good to be here again on another Monday. Thank God it's Monday. Some people love Monday. Others don't love Monday. Others love Friday. But we love Monday. Thank God we are still counted among the living. It's the 4th day of September. Just a little over a month, and then we're into elections. And so let's keep it civil as we talk about Liberia, because we know that this country is not going to burn because we're going to elections. So let's keep it the way it is and go to elections. Whoever wins, wins.
Exactly. And that's the best thing that we can ever do for the protection of the peace and security of this country. Go to the elections. Whoever wins, wins. So today is Monday. It's the 4th day of the month of September. We are here again to do the Liberian people's job, and we are so ecstatic. We're so good to be here. So trending issues. Before trending issue, we have a trend how we carried out the program. We will introduce our guests to our public. Those of you listening, to know who will be our guests or who are our guests for the evening. So take it back to you.
Okay, so tonight we will have as our prime guests 3 members of the We Are Intellectual Movement. Mr. Isaac Doe, he's the vice chair for operations of that group. Daniel Thomas is a member of the group. And then we have Charles Nyanti, member of the group. So we're going to be talking politics, mostly about the Coalition for
and
Democratic
not just politics, but we're going to be talking serious politics.
Absolutely. So
Exactly.
Gentlemen are going to tell us a lot about what they're doing out there. President was in. Then we just kick off trending issues. President today was his final day in Grand Bassa County.
Exactly.
Rallying the support of the people of Grand Bassa County, making sure that they gave him a resounding one-round victory. He has been in Bassa since last week, and I know the people of Bassa really enjoy the company of His Excellency. To have the president in your county for more than 2-3 days, that's a blessing. And so the Bassa people were making real good use of His Excellency's presence in that. I like to hear the battle cry before we talk a little bit more about that. Where do we go, Michael? I think Michael is taking time now to get us the battle cry. President Weah is really connecting with his people. I think he's finding it. He will get it battle cry when he gets that. We will go to it. But President Weah keeps telling his audience wherever he goes that he is the right person for the job at this time. Okay, I think we have the battle cry.
So don't let them fool you. Don't let them fool you. Amanda! 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 I say, don't mind, Amanda! That the people what they say the car will park in the garage now, the car don't get muffler, it not get tired, they say they come to the room, say. And the people what they say the Sunday morning, they oil the bank, what are they coming to do in the car, say. The people I say they want to rescue, who they want rescuing, how they can rescue, say, Amanda! God bless you all.
So that's how he ended it. He knows how to, get the crowd to interact with his audience and get them, excited. He knows how to excite his base. And that is something you can't take away from him. And you see him still looking very strong, energetic, and ever ready to communicate with his audience. And he keeps telling the Liberian people wherever he goes, whatever county he goes to, that he is the alternative. He is the one who can make the lives of the young people better because of what he has started doing for the Liberian people, and he can continue. And he always makes sure that he connects with his audience. That is one thing you cannot take from the president of the Republic of Liberia. He knows how to do that very well, and he knows how to make his opponent look ugly. Listen to his battle cry. That's the president, battle cry there for you. The same people who say they want to rescue you, they are being rescued. The park car with the muffler already, what is it, sir? The car muffler. You guys, men know more about cars than women. For us, we just jump in the cars, we drive. When it has a problem, we care less about that.
You don't say that. You don't say that. I think you say the mechanics know more about car than we.
Yeah, the men even know more about the cars than the women, because the woman just wants to drive. She doesn't care about what happens in each.
But he said something about the muffler and the tires or something else that has been packed and has already lost balance and weight, and I think it's flat and it needs rescue. I think those were probably the words that he said, and I think the car itself needs rescue. And it kind of reserved a pack car cannot be parked and be a car, it be a safe haven or a place to be somewhere that it can take rescue from. Okay. I think it probably if that kind of car was was a prepared vehicle that was already ready to take a drive, then it could be a medium for rescue, but not wherein I think those were the exact point
so
he
a
was going.
squanderer cannot be a rescuer.
Exactly, that's where he was going. That's
Okay.
where he was going. But I wanted to say something to what the president did, the battle cry. This is politics, and you must be tactical. You must have some techniques.
Know your audience,
Exactly.
right.
You must have them. Because sometimes people go to these political gatherings and they are observing. So sometimes you do these things, you ignite them. You put them in the momentum, you give them, you make them feel lively on the program. Sometimes people go to these political programs, you're just speaking all the BB book, you're speaking all the policy thing. Some people want just to be.
Thank God you know that. So when you want to be a politician, you have to come down to the level of the ordinary people. That is the only way they connect with you.
I know.
Yeah, but in all fairness, that is very, very important.
Exactly.
As a leader, as a politician, you must be able to connect with your audience. That is something that wins people
Exactly.
to your side. It's not about being all serious and talking things that you cannot do for the people, because most times people don't like, if people are standing for long maybe close to 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. They want something to energize them.
Yeah, to stir them up.
You as a leader can connect with the people, then you're winning their hearts.
Because the scene created by the president was a scene to to steer,
to send them home. That is
Exactly.
it. He was ending, but he wanted them to go with something.
Oh, yes.
So somebody's going home now and wow, the president was doing battle cry.
Exactly.
Yes,
So that
and
alone,
battle cry is a message.
Exactly.
There's a message in the battle cry
Exactly.
that tells you that do not vote for my opponent, because my opponent is this and that, is a squanderer, is a packed car in the garage. That is a message that relates to other people.
that battle cry alone is a point of discussion.
Yes,
Let's
they're
be
going
honest.
home with that.
It's a point of discussion. Probably there are other things that happened alone, while the program was going on. But that battle cry alone, it just captivated someone.
With them.
It just took someone by surprise. And
I was listening to him, but I was, drawn to the battle cry.
The battle cry, who you do?
Yeah, I was drawn to the battle cry. I was listening to him. He has continuously called on his audience, the people, the Liberian people, wherever he went, that he would tell them what he has done as a president for this country, and
Exactly.
he needs to do more, and he needs time, and he needs them to give him an opportunity to complete the work that he has done. And those people were asking the president, and he told them, you guys have to find the land quick and fast. If there is a superintendent, find the land quick and fast so that whatever you want me to build, I can build that, in time for you. They want certain things. The president wants something from them. They connect. You give me this, I give you this. And I was listening to Commissioner Nambe, who says that the president's birthday will be on the 1st of October.
Yeah, October.
But don't give him any birthday gift on October 1. Just wait until October 10 before you can give him a gift. But there are different ways to connect with your audience. But I was really, really drawn to that. So let's go to something else. President,
Exactly.
we are ended his tour of Grand Bassa. Today he's reverting to Montserrado County, to Monrovia, and then
It takes on another trip for
Absolutely.
another county. So today was a scene of attraction at the level of the Supreme Court. Today, scores of supporters gathered in line with this issue that has to do with Mr. Thomas Niminintwe Jr. in District Number 11. So today we saw a lot of people gathered to witness what was going on at the Temple of Justice. And what we heard from the folks there and what we watched on the video, we saw a lot of people celebrating that Mr. Twe has won the case and blah, 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 and all of that. And a lot of people jubilating, and they left the scene so happily. And the message going out there without the court making its final decision and coming out, because when the court makes its verdict, I think you have 3 days to file in, within 3 days to file in to raise a motion of reconsideration. So I think that was done on Thursday. So on the same Thursday or Friday, the Nimlin legal team filed in a motion that the matter should be re-looked into. When the court said that, we saw a massive destruction on Thursday from the Nimlin camp. They destroy a lot of people's property. As per the information, there were massive, and I went there. I saw Lafayette Group banners were all brought down. I saw Siatana Poli banner because I was in the District 11 bell on Saturday. I saw all of these things brought down. Today, we've seen the jubilant move. We've seen how how excited these people are. But here is it. When I called one of the media personnel, who covered this thing today, he said, but I think there is this thing coming from the court that the ruling will be on Thursday. On Thursday, the court will finally look into that. But there was a strategy wherein we have to disperse the crowd peacefully so that there wouldn't be any fragment, any destruction, any misfeelings, and will lead to certain different reactions. So today it was believed that Mr. Tue won the case, but actually in its actual essence, Mr. Tue did not win the case.
So the court hasn't ruled.
The court hasn't ruled
in anyone's favor yet.
Not yet.
People believed that he won, and they were jubilating today.
That was amazing information. So I spoke with Lafayette Good, and he said no, the court has not ruled yet. I told Fina, if you're listening, please phone in so that we hear a bit from you within like a minute or two. You can call us now and let's hear your side, because she was at the court today. Lafayette was at the court today, and a lot of them were at the court today. So Fina has agreed to speak with us. So Fina, if you're listening, please call in so we can hear. So the court hasn't ruled.
So here is it. A complaint was filed by Fina Atanapoli in Lafayette Good. They took Nimino. His name is Nimine, right?
Nimine.
Okay, Nimine to court because they believe that he is not domiciled in district number 11, and he holds an American citizenship.
Exactly.
And there is something you must do according to the last time we spoke with Asia. There are some requirements he should have met before even registering to contest in these elections. According to them, he did not do that. And then they took the complaint to the National Elections Commission. Their complaint was not the National Elections Commission. I listened to Lafayette Good this morning on another radio station, and he said when they took the complaint to the National Elections Commission, NEC said they don't have jurisdiction. They can look into such a case when it comes to nationality. And so they were injured by that, and they went to the court.
Okay.
And so when they went to the court ruled in their favor. But here is it. He said that according to that Nimino had an opportunity. It happens very seldomly. Once in a while, if the court rules, maybe a justice in chamber rules in your favor, as it will seem as the Supreme Court, and you believe that the ruling of the justice in chamber was not satisfactory to you, and your lawyers believe that there was something that they did not look into. There is a part of the case that they didn't look into. You can take that case to the full bench of the Supreme Court. That is what Nimino did. But then the court was hearing whether or not that thing that he believed that the justice in chambers didn't look into properly, whether it had any substance. If it had substance, the court will agree to hear it. And I'm sure that's what the court did today.
Exactly.
To agree to hear that. And then all of his supporters, were happy about that, and they went helter-skelter, thinking that he won the case. But Lafayette said on the radio this morning, I listened to him, he said, even if the court agrees to listen, the court will not listen to the case today. they would give time to listen to the kids, because they're two who, who are the, who are they now? Defendants or what? Okay, the Lafia and Sia, their lawyers
okay.
will have time to come to court, also to prepare to come and listen, also, so that the case is
been
looked
debated.
into. Yeah, it's debated. So I don't know whether it's the Thursday you're talking about that they're going to look into that case. So if you're in district number 11 and you think that your countryman has won the case, that is not the case, because the full case hasn't been looked into. What happened today was that they had an opportunity. The court accepted to listen to the case.
Exactly.
And Lafia said if there were three persons, one of the justices in chamber or had to say, okay, we believe what these people are saying, and we know that there is a reason to listen to their case, so we'll listen to their case. And so I'm sure that's what happened today, and they will listen to the case on Thursday. It's possible that whatever merits, the full bench will see into that case. It's possible that he could win the case. It's possible that he could also lose the case. So the people in district number 11 have to hold themselves.
This is
those
the point.
who are connected to countrymen. You have to hold yourself, because you never can tell what the ruling is going to be.
Exactly.
And so before on Thursday, now if the court rules on Thursday, before you guys come out and say, oh, they said on Monday that we won the case, and then on Thursday, that is a recipe for chaos.
You saw the folks. You listened to how the information went out, and it was believed that Mr. Countryman or Mr. Thomas Niminin Twe Jr. has won the case. And you saw, I was coming today, I saw a lot of people, I saw scores of supporters. We even had to take the Charlestown Road because that whole place was almost like blocked. I'm telling you, I saw scores of supporters.
I hope he's going to hold his supporters,
yes,
especially in the district.
The very first time when the court ruled against him, there were violence orchestrated all across the district. People, banners were brought down, intolerance and all of that. All things happened. Today, they have the impression that he wins he has won the case. What happens? Tomorrow, if the court looks into it and sees that the rulings, the ruling is sustained, what happens again? What happens? So I think Mr. Twain needs to talk to his supporters to calm them down and to ensure that let them listen to the court. Because I heard someone saying that if no Mr. Twain, no election in district number 11, that should not be. And you understand? That shouldn't be. So let the court, who's the final arbiter of justice in the country, be able to tell Mr. Twain that, yes, indeed, you are qualified. There's a possibility that he wins the case. There's a possibility that he still, be denied. So don't give the people the impression that, oh, Mr. Twain has won the case tomorrow or Thursday. When it is finalized that Mr. Twain did not win the case, then it be a serious, horrific moment in district number 11, and it wouldn't be good for our electoral process. So we are trying to mend and cement a peaceful electoral process in the country. Don't give the people impression that may seem otherwise, and we will see different thing in this country. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let be fair to the people. The man win the case. The people go all about in the district say the man win the case. The man win the case.
Okay, so let's leave it at that. It's incumbent upon Mr. Twe to talk to his people and tell them what is happening exactly, so that they too know what to do. Because if you're a leader, you must lead by example. Yeah, you must tell your people what it is. It is what it is. If the court rules in your favor, fine. If the court doesn't, the law is the law. And so, what do we know? Unity Party was campaigning over the weekend, right?
Yes.
I didn't see any sign of them today. Were they out today?
No, they weren't. They weren't out today. They were out.
They retire after the weekend for a day.
I am certain.
So they were in district number 15, number
14,
13,
yeah,
and 14.
Yeah, 14, 15.
Okay.
Yes.
So, what did Ambassador Boaka say?
Yeah, so I listened to the one he said in 14, and he spoke about how the Liberian people are suffering, how, it's the normal thing. It's just the normal thing. is the repeated version of the synopsis, right? The one he said earlier on. So when he approached, or when he got to the stage, he said, there are possibilities for them to improve the country, rescue the country. The Liberian people are suffering. Dejection, rejection have taken over the country.
Has he spoken about all of these leaked videos and recordings?
No. He did not draw his attention to those.
Did he say what he went to do in Ghana?
When I listened to it wasn't on the campaign trail on yesterday.
Okay.
Yes.
Has he spoken about
he spoke about it. Yes.
He
spoke about it when he was being asked, or he was being quizzed. He said yes, he went to Ghana to meet business partners, but then he said it.
Business partners.
Yes, he said it. He said it was the intent. It was in the intent to benefit Liberia, but for his personal benefit, and later on to benefit Liberia when he becomes president. That's what he said.
That's why he went to.
Exactly. That's why he went to Ghana.
So why will he say to the Liberian people that he went to Ghana on a business trip, and then the party chairman tells the Liberian people, and even the spokesperson, because I spoke with the chairman of the party, and he says that Ambassador Boaka was in Ghana. He went to meet partners. So, and I asked him, who were those partners? He said he couldn't disclose that. Okay, so maybe they were the business partners.
Mr. Boaka said business
about
partner.
The ECOWAS region, though. And okay, sometimes it's just good to be truthful to the people who you want to lead. There is this a video of Ambassador Boaka in an interview that is making rounds on Facebook and everywhere, where he again has not been truthful, because we all know that since the president took office in this country, he has never told the Liberian people that bag of rice would be 500 Liberian dollars. But that is the picture that Ambassador Boaka is painting when he goes out, or when he went out of the country and had an interview in Nigeria, and says that the president said that he's going to make rice 500 Liberian dollars. Who sells rice 500? How much did the Unity Party leave a bag of rice in this country before the CDC is going to bring it down to 500 Liberian dollars? I'm just, bringing this up because if you want to lead, you must be truthful to the Liberian people. It's very, very important, because whatever you say as a leader comes back to haunt you tomorrow. And you want to be that person, especially an elderly statesman. You want to be that person who will say things and people believe you. But if you said something yesterday that is not true, today again you say another thing, it's just, it seems to be that is what surrounds the Unity Party. You listen to Jeremiah Kuhn, who is the vice standard bearer to the Unity Party standard bearer, who said that Ambassador Boaka was not fit, and he's not fit to lead this country. Today he is the second man who's running alongside Ambassador.
With the unfit man.
With the unfit man. You listen to Prince Johnson, and they're just, walloping in deception, and it's sad.
But that's what I said the last time. I said, it's Mr. Boaka has been placed in a bubble, and he doesn't understand, or probably he's doing it out of desperation.
So maybe he's doing it because he wants something. He wants the presidency, and who's using who? Because I think everybody's using
using somebody.
Yeah, everyone is using everybody.
Exactly.
They all come together in the public and make the public to assume that it is well.
Here is it.
But inside there is a big hole.
Here is it. Okay, I think CI is calling, but I think we've passed that issue. Here is it. Here is it.
I already here.
Jeremiah Kuhn is using Mr. Boaka to get to the how you call
the
it presidency. Boaka is using Jeremiah Kuhn to get to the presidency. Prince Johnson is using Jeremiah Kuhn through Mr. Boaka to get to the presidency. So everybody using everybody.
That's that's sad, and they all are using the Liberian people. they have this perception. They believe that, the Liberian people will fall for that. I'm just thinking what the people of Lofa County make of what Prince,
Exactly.
Johnson has said and the intent he has for Ambassador Bwaka. But again, you can wash your dirty clothes outside, so we understand this. But again, what is the Unity Party up to? I am concerned. When we're going to elections here in 2017, you could feel it. But it doesn't seem to be that way. Unity Party goes to campaign on Friday, Saturday, and then they break away. What is that? Where is the money? They're collecting money again in America. I see Fagon all over the place. They're collecting money for pool washes. What is it? Why are they acting? Ambassador Bwaka goes and gets money, and then he comes back to the country, and everything is calm, as if to say we're not running campaign. Why are they keeping the money? As if to say they don't have money. What are they doing with the money?
What do I know?
I don't know, because it doesn't look like the parties are campaigning. We don't even see anything. What's going on? You guys have to come out and campaign, because this is campaign season. You stop keeping the money. But he go for the money to Ghana, he brings it, and then it will benefit the Liberian people later.
Yeah, you said
who's buying pig in the bag?
It was his private, business engagement that will benefit.
But there were reports that he was hiding from the people, that he didn't trust his people, and then he didn't trust, members. I mean,
his close associates.
Yeah, that's the right word. His close associates. So he went to Ghana with his two sons, because anything happens there, they will benefit. So he wants to. Anyway, he said he lives on loan. Okay, let's leave it as it is, and then let's take just 3 calls, and then we will bring in our guests this evening on Open Conversation.
Okay.
It's your time now to call the numbers, please.
So the numbers are 08805140096 are the numbers. 0880514096. You listen to the talking points. What will be your concern? Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
You are live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. James calling from Wala.
Go ahead, James.
Yes, I just want to thank you guys for this splendid presentation on the UNCT. You guys are doing exceptionally well. But I don't want you guys to keep Waka the relevant to be talking about him all the time. Like,
my man, they may that the opposition, like they said that the leading opposition, they may we gotta talk about him.
At the end of the day, I want you guys to talk about the good things the president is doing.
Oh, we'll talk about the president, my man. Everybody got to hear everybody say, I won't know what we got up to, but.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's take her from here. Okay, let's see if we can take her from here. Let's take Siatanapoli. She's let me get it. Okay,
let's take this person.
Okay, she's on the line. Sia, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah, so just speak to what happened today at the level of the court.
To the best of my knowledge, nothing new happened today at the level of the court, except that someone admitting to a jail was fooling his supporters as usual with lies.
So that means he has not yet been declared as the victor.
No, not at all. Since the ruling on Thursday, nothing new came out today. Nothing new.
So what are you guys doing now? Those of you who took him to court, what is it? Like we heard that the hearing will be on Thursday. Are we correct?
Which one of the hearing again?
That the matter will be
go to do to the court.
The matter will be re-looked into. What did you go to do to the court today?
I didn't go to the court. I had nobody called me about going to court. The only call I received is that my lawyer should need to be at the Supreme Court tomorrow so that the mandate can be sent down to NEC. That is what I know of, and I have any hearing.
Which mandate?
Which mandate?
The reverse decision by the Supreme Court.
So the court did not look into any case today?
Not at all. Not at all. That is a blinking lie.
Oh, we lost.
Okay.
We lost. I think we lost.
So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yes,
because
we
she
lost.
says her lawyer, her lawyers have been asked to go to the court. So we'll hear what happens tomorrow, because this whole case is like,
up and
down. So okay. So let's take a short break. And when we
from the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together. I want. They say you're not there, we stand, if I there, we fight. If we not celebrate, we do it for you. Voila, you forget that. You from Lower Country, you from Maryland. Voila, you from Rewa Cess. I'm a bad that way on your river, I walk on the fine way. Kabila, Kriwako. I love Liberia, oh yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah.
I was raised in the swamp, but I chilled with my guns. Kept it on the low, but we fought for the bones. True son of the soil, I'm a prince in my own. Never gonna lie, me, I love that I be. Even though it's far, when we show we can face it. It's not a prophecy, I know that we can rise again. Holding my hand, I hold in your own. United, we stand, divided, we fall. So that's what they say when I come with ball. When I chillin' on that side, and I get no bro. I got L to the O to the V and the E. If we fighting together, we can conquer this city. From the east to the west, then waving the flag from the north to the side. Yeah, that's joining the team. You go where you pella, you lama, I'm crown. Who kill it? Who got shown?
I love Liberia, oh yeah. Free land on liberty, Liberia, oh yeah. I love Liberia, oh yeah. They play for me and you, Liberia, oh yeah.
Mama was born, yeah. Papa was born, yeah. They hold us together, the honey boy, yeah. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kubo. Nabalike na koya bake na papa kubo. Nabali pole po na papa kubo. Nabali pole po na papa kubo. La biro waka poma o. La biro waka ma o. Baganda no waka ma o. La biro waka ma o. Baganda no waka ma o.
Welcome back to Open Conversation on ELBC Radio. We told you we will have members of the We Are Intellectual Movement in our company this evening. Two of them are already here, Mr. Gabriel Nyanti, member, and Mr. Isaac Doe, Vice Chair for Operations. Gentlemen, welcome to Open Conversation.
Well, Titi, thank you. Thank you for the invite. It's nice being here again. A good day, more conversations about people. We are always excited to be here. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and we're looking forward to discussing a cross-section of different issues you have on your plate. So it's good to be here, and good evening to the people of Liberia.
Campaign in its second week, right? You guys good?
Yes, we're good.
More than good. I think we are better, best and better now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So all of you seem to be wearing your full political gloves, reaching out, all out. Why is this so necessary?
Well, Titi, I think it is even more than necessary for the fact that Liberia is at a crossroad. We have long yearned for certain things to happen in our country. We are seeing these things happening today. And during these times, at the times, people get to take decision on the next pathway of the country. We either turn back or we go forward. And every well-meaning Liberian, every patriotic son would agree that Liberia needs to go forward. And for that to happen, we have to put the necessary checkpoint to stop those who want to take Liberia backward. And so we think this is a moment where everyone, all Liberians, must see these times as not a joke of a time, but in my mind, the most important time of our highest decision making. And so we have to be there to ensure these things actually happen.
And I think elections are the foundation of every democracy in the world. So when we talk elections, we are talking about a period in which people are exercising their rights, and it's very crucial for every democracy in the world. And this time for Liberia is when we will see a school or an array of Liberians move into the pool to cast their votes, and also to demonstrate an appraisal of what the CDC government has done over the last 6 years. So we think that is very crucial, and we are looking forward to encouraging all Liberians across the country to join this process. I mean, across all political subdivision, different political institutions, we have to make sure that we converge in our own political beliefs and ideologies, so that we can exercise our democratic rights at this time of our nation history.
Rain or shine, the CDC standard bearer and the team have been all out from day one of the campaign, making your case on the tangibles and gains. How is all of this resonating with the public?
Well, today I think the people realize today that our election processes should be issue-based. Our election processes should not be on the basis of slogans and talks and just voice, but on the basis of what you bring to the table, what eyes can see, what you've done. And with that, I think you cannot explain more in voice.
What you bring to the table, you're the ones on the table, so you bring in everything.
That's what I'm saying. Election processes today, the people realize that it should be issue-based. And so the people tend to go where the issues are. That's why everywhere the president goes, you see something I would call tsunami of humans, people clinching towards listening what the president has to say, that are always backed by the fact that these things are in evidence. They are things that eyes can see. Unlike on the other side, where you have just few group of people repeating slogans and saying things that no one points to. Quickly before we go deep into, I wanted to start up my conversation.
Let me stick with you right there. You're saying that the campaign should be issue based.
It has always been issue based.
It has always been issue based. But your opponents say they don't have, what are the issues, they should be talking about in terms of tangibles when they have not had an opportunity to serve as the president is serving.
I'm not sure who was saying that. I'm not sure we are talking about people who were in government for 60 years, 40 years. 200 years. I'm not thinking anyone from the other side said
that. But has always said that he hasn't been the head.
Okay.
So you all expect him.
This is the reason. Listen, if you are ever drank a plastic of water and you picked it up from the ground, come and talk about it. You don't have to be the head for the country to pick up the water. It is okay to come and tell, you know what? Though I wasn't president, but I used to pick up the little water when I drink it from the floor. I can put it down. Come and tell us something. And I am not sure we are talking about someone who served as the country's second most powerful person. I'm not sure we are talking about someone who served as the president of the Senate, on whose watch it is documented that this country absorbed about 60 bogus concession agreements.
You listen to Ambassador Walker, he said that he was not a senator, but a president of the Senate. So you don't owe him for what the senators have done.
But he's the president of the Senate presides over the Senate discussion when it comes to legislation. So you cannot isolate yourself. And I think this is a sharp irony. The vice president and the spokesman of the Unity Party had made it very clear that he has mentioned a couple of achievements under the Unity Party regime. So are we saying that the Unity Party is willing to accept some of the gains that they've made during the 12 years, and they are willing to isolate and exclude themselves from the massive failure That would be an irony. I think the vice president, the former vice president, has to be very sincere with the people of this country and hold up as a. I mean, he's an elder in politics, and we know that sometimes the elder in our community, in our tradition, sometimes we shy away from responsibility. But when it comes to this election, the vice president will need to be honest to tell the Liberian people that if we accept the construction of one, we accept the construction of rule, we will also be able to accept that we enacted into law over 64 concessions that were rendered bogus. If you accept the construction of schools, the vice president should also be willing to say that the Unity Party regime was marred by massive corruption. He knows that, everyone knows that, and I think it's very fair for us to come to this discussion with equity.
And you know, before Titi coming, I think the Unity Party and the war fairness do not go in the same sentence.
Absolutely.
Now, it is just the very same party that recently was all around the place talking about somebody cell phone thing from the airport and making it out a big issue. That in itself is a clear definition of people who are not fair. Now, if you want to lead people, it is the right thing to do to get the people in the know of what's happening from the other side, simply because you have to be transparent. Now, one of the places that I got a little shocked and confused is that people from the Unity Party camp took the issue of somebody used their phone to video record the vice president on the airport leaving the country very early in the morning to be some big of an issue. And although there were a lot of media reports around that he had to leave that abruptly simply because there were some health issues, that's not something I can confirm. But again, we've repeatedly said we wish the vice president well to come on the campaign trail. But listen, everyone gets sick. I do get sick. Sickness is not unique to one person, especially that the fact that the vice president is in the age he is, some 80 years and stuff. Every one of us prays very much to reach that age. I call it age of blessing. But there's one thing you cannot divorce from it, for the fact that at that age, you will experience some health issues. This is normal. It is not something that is outside of the world. So why would you want to take the issue of, okay, I'm not well, I'm going to get treatment to be a big of an issue? I don't think that's something that don't tell you how they are right.
He did not go to, he went to look for
That's
money.
where now the issue of that fairness comes in.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the insecurity, the unfairness we are talking about, the issue of being very fair with the people of Liberia. There is no, Liberia is prone, and even sub-Saharan Africa, we are prone to diseases, and especially developing nations, and people who tend to be in their 80s are extremely prone to diseases, and there are complications. Even if not diseases, there are also complications people in their older age. So I don't think it's fair to the people of this country.
Do you think the Unity Party government, the Unity Party people are hiding anything?
Absolutely, we think. I mean, that would be the judge of the public, because if you're sneaking out the vice president, and once that people get to know that and you got issues with that, he's a prominent citizen of the republic, and he's one of the important persons in the electoral process. So when he's leaving the country, it's fair to the people of Unity Party that it should be informed where the vice president is going. Even if you read,
but the CDA hasn't.
But before you go, let's look at a statement from the people. Now, there was a press release placed out by Mo Ali or whoever put it out, and said the vice president had an impromptu visit. And we all know impromptu means not planned. Now, he went on OKFM again and said, you know what? Invitation was sent to the vice president 2 days ago. So how can you have invitation even 1 hour before you do your thing, and then you come and say it's impromptu? Impromptu means, you know what? I just went there because it came up down. This alone tells you, for me, I think it is disingenuous. I call that a terrorist act to an elderly person, for the fact that you will put someone in the category you put them simply because you want to gain some political relevance at the expense of the person. In my I mean, why lie?
Okay,
Why?
the Unity Party, in your view, they lie, but they said Ambassador Boaka will be out for 3 days, and he came back the day they say he was coming back. He was campaigning throughout the weekend, although we haven't seen anything today from the Unity Party.
But didn't we know they should have campaigned even on the day he went? Didn't they know they should have gone somewhere anyways?
So they went. It was an impromptu trip. They went there and they came back.
2 days in 2 days stuff sent to you. But
He said he was on a business trip.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Isaac, our debate, as we stated, our argument for these elections are issue based.
Okay, so
we don't want
issue based.
issue based.
Let's go to the issues.
It's the issue of sincerity towards the people.
Okay,
I think it's
so
how
the
you
people
would
were
judged. The
people were judged.
Anything.
So it's been almost 6 years now, and the first term of His Excellency is almost concluding, and which everybody knows that the president's first term is concluding. Is there anything that this government hasn't done that you want to do for which you're seeking a second term constitutionally?
Titi, a lot is left to be done. Liberia is 176 years. We should be having more than what Liberia is today. I know, or no one within the government or anywhere has said we are where we want to be. We are very, very far off of where we want to be. But with the steps we've taken within the past, should I say 3 years probably? Yeah, we're taking COVID into consideration. I think we are on the right path to getting there. That's why we need a leadership that follows through where Liberia is. But before I go down to that, my brother comes in, there has been this concern within the sub-region, not just in Liberia. I've read some articles coming from the ECOWAS region, some other places, of happiness within our political discourse. Liberia has enjoyed peace for the many years you can think about now, decades plus, since President Weah came from the start of the disarmament processes. We've had, I don't want to make it an issue, but I just thought to put this out quickly so we go to where the government has taken this country from and where we are now. There has been a couple of recordings, secret recordings around the places from, Senator Johnson, who is a man that we all know.
Isaac will come to that recording. It's part of what we will be asking.
Okay, I just didn't want to get that off my mind.
Trust me, we'll hear,
exactly
from you, on those different recordings. But I want to know from you guys, like I said, my previous question. I want you to elaborate. What is it that the CDC government wants to do for which the Liberian people should give President Weah a second chance?
There are several things. Titi, Liberia is a developing country, and 176 years old. There are several challenges ranging from health, education, infrastructure to economy. These reforms, the president's second term is coming with ambitious reform, robust and ambitious reform. As you've seen, there has been a sound agreement with the African Development Bank or the World Bank to construct a 300 million hydro plant in Bond County. The president is also still concerned about the school system. The rural school system still faces a lot of challenges, and we are not where we're supposed to be in the sub-region. So we have a couple of reforms. The president has a couple of reforms that he is proposing and he wants to implement during his second term, and beyond that. The African Development Bank and the government of Liberia will be having a corporation that is expected to establish a youth investment bank in Liberia. It is around 16 million, where youthful entrepreneurs are able to go to those banks and get grants or loans from those banks. It will be established in Liberia. We have similar establishment in Senegal. We have similar establishment in Gambia, and excluding that, there are several other things that the president wants to. The president, is coming into this second term to do a lot. we still have issues of roles. We still have issues of we still have issues that are facing the young people in the country, youth empowerment. So those different issues that need to be resolved, those different challenges that face Liberia, these are some of the things that the president is coming with in the second term to tell the Liberian people that we need to do this. We've started doing this. We had a conversation. We're having a conversation so we can finalize this in the next 6 years. Because that's why the president is requesting the Liberian people to ensure that a mandate is given to him for the next 6 years.
Yeah. Good. And if you want me to add on my brother, Titi, we got the last time I checked, the government connected some 700,000 persons to electricity. Our country has multi-million people. So why only everybody get electricity? The president's view is to ensure that everybody got access to electricity. So we still got work to do in the electric sector, like you said. Titi, we got young people who today are privileged under this president to get free tuition at the state-run universities across the country. We want to bring that down further. We have no civil servants. You want to bring it down
further to what?
I mean, further to
you mean
high schools and elementary, to make education as a right for everyone and not just for the privileged few. We have civil servants today not making anything less than $150. We want civil servants to make nothing less than $250, $300.
But
all of these are processes.
Mr. Braga campaign, the last time he said he's going to make the high schools and everything free, and the president said he wants to do the same.
Okay, well, again, I usually don't like to waste a lot of time on things that the opportunity was presented but wasn't done. Now, don't forget now, it's the same former Vice President Barker who told us that he had a lot of opportunity that is squandered. I'm not sure all of those squandered opportunities are coming back now. Well, someone once told me, my grandparents said, sometimes opportunity comes to you once, and if it comes, you want to make every use of it. And so if you had the ability, you had the space for 12 years, for 46 years to do. Listen, former Vice President was a minister at the Agriculture Ministry. I mean, we can go there tomorrow, walk around the entire place and see if there is any one thing you can point to that he left there. So you want to tell us now that all of the time you were there, you couldn't do nothing today, you want to come and fix everything. The truth of the matter, yeah, my brother, people talk. That's why our elections today are not just about talking. It's about those things you've done when you had the opportunity. Listen, if you are a janitor, the best way you do your job will get you promoted. Whatever you do it to the best and you show results. It tells people you can do the even bigger one. Now, if you were a vice president and you told the people that you were packed, you had nothing to do, you're not even single. Libyan government people brought rice here, $30 million rice project. President said, he said, come and take care of it. You squandered that, you mismanaged it. You want to take care of 500 million budget or 700 million budget. I would think these things are just charade.
Do you think all of what you have named here that President Weah wants to do, for which he's asking for a second term, do you think your message, we've gone 2 weeks now into campaign, your messages, is the president's message to the people, or his messages, are these messages, resonating with the people of Liberia? Do they? Is that what they want? Are they saying, yes, we're going to give you an opportunity because we believe that, if we give you another opportunity, you're going to make our lives better? Is that the signal you were getting?
Yes, Titi. I mean, we all see the visibility. Look at the president's tour across the few counties he has visited. The people are trooping in the miles to see the president.
Even with downpour of
your
rain.
critics are saying that they're not doing it with their hearts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, except they are soothsayer to read the minds of those people. But I know Liberians are people who are sincere, and if they endorse you, the Liberian people will show up for you. They will support you. And I can promise you that the president's message is resonating very well. And I was in Cape Town County a few days ago when the president visited, and there were people from different villages all across Cape Town who were assembling at different points to greet the president. And these This assembly demonstrates that the president's message is resonating with the people. Similar happened in Grand Bassa County. And we can say to you that this week is the CDC's week. We will have our campaign launch on the 7th. You expect to see more. If the president's message is something that the people disagree with, I mean, that will be shown through visibility. Because in politics, especially electionary time, the number of persons who show up for you usually are the ones who endorse your agenda that you propose to them.
You don't think that these same people who are gathering in these counties, where the opposition to go to these counties will not see the same crowd come out?
But Titi, the same way the people came to the president 2017 without their hat, but they flogged them. First round, it was 14-1. It's the same way that we come without their hat again and flogged them this time 15-0. And the thing is, Titi, by February 2nd, I think February 2nd, when we had the thank you rally, that was not a political rally. You saw human beings as if you've never seen before. It tells you these people appreciate what the president is doing. Now, ask yourself, who doesn't want more roles? I went to Bomi County. When I went there, I visited the market house where I saw, we're in our CDC shot and thing. Oh man, they all happy, dancing, and all of them were talking. In Bomi, we never used to even find cold water so easy there. The one new guy there who had a generator, when he's saying water, he say any price. But today, cold water waste all around the place. Who doesn't want cold water? They want to say, I go to my place, I put my day fan on before I use my camera to be fan myself. Today I put fan on covering there. Who doesn't want fan? So how are you going to tell me? Yeah.
Joe, you said something just. Are you saying you're not going to give Mr. Boyka the one county that he kind of struggled
It's
with?
going to be 15-0. President Ware is going to win every county. Now I will tell you why. The people of Lofa, the only county that the former vice president won in the second time last year, though he won or Bapu the first one, they've always been on the thing, okay, at the end of the town, let's give it to the people done with that. It is because no one was doing what is being done today. So the people always feel the issue of end of the town should be the one at the end of the day. But today, the people are seeing the road network coming from Bon County going into Lofa. Why would they want to go with end of the town than building of roads? The people are seeing the issue of youth empowerment across the place. Why would they want to leave youth empowerment to end of the town? The people are seeing free colleges around the place. And you saying, okay, that way, free college, we don't want you, not too good, let's go to end of the town. Times have changed, brother. The time when people only say you the end of the town cannot vote for you is all gone. Now the people are seeing changes in their lives. They are seeing changes in the environments. So that basis will tell you that the president is going to win all 15 counties.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You from the CDC are very emphatic when it comes to President Weah winning these elections.
Oh, yeah?
You are very sure that President Weah is going to win the elections. Given the campaign with the opposition and the ruling CDC, what you're seeing in these counties, are you 100% sure? I know you have not gone to all of the counties. Are you still sure that this is a one-round thing?
Well, if you ask him, I will say yes. It's only on the, listen, 2023, in my mind, is easier than 2017. When we were campaigning in 2017, we campaigned on the record of what President Weah did for this nation when he was not even thinking of being president. We were talking about people he sent to school. We were talking about people he helped on refugee camps. We were talking about the love he had for this country. We were talking about his part played in the disarmament process. Today, we are talking about the combination of all of those things, plus building our roads, schools, corporate offices around, all of these things put together, to me, makes us easier, because whenever we say anything, we show it. If we say the school system, though we are not there yet, but we are at a very good place now than where we were before. Before, you had people standing up from UL mean place all the way to Stella Maris putting brakes so that they stay online to go and do their registration. So they know we're not going to have that. We're going to have people use their own phone in their house and plan their courses and things be okay. Before, Johnsonville, people used to pay almost $200 for a bike, small place. Today they pay about $40 to $50. It tells you that indeed improvements are around the place. And so, in my mind, 2023 is easier than 2017. And this is the reason why we know for a fact that these people know Liberia got a lot of work. we're not going to spend $40-50 million for runoff, because even after 200 rounds, President Weah is going to win everything.
What sets you apart from the opposition? I know we've talked a lot about, the Unity Party, but the Unity Party is not the only opposition party in these elections. Most times when you're talking to people from the CDC, they will talk more about, the Unity Party than the other parties. There is, a CPP. There is a Tiawan Gonglo. There is a, Simeon Freeman. What sets you apart? We see the crowd, gravitating towards President Weah. But mind you, there are other people who don't come out, but they are still also going to vote.
And do they pose any political threat to you?
Absolutely not. Those people you just named, Liberians, but we can say they pose no serious challenge to President Weah. The only person in the history of this country that have posed any challenge to President Weah in an election is Madam Sirleaf. And Madam Sirleaf, who has retired from politics, left this playing field with no challenger. Even the Unity Party that has been in power before has a lot of lapses that the people themselves are convinced and resolved that they have no room to have the Unity Party re-elected as a ruling government. If you talk about the other opposition, we know what's going to happen. Some of those people will earn 0.0001%, 0.00000001%. These guys not going anywhere. And that's why when Asset talked about the issue of one round victory, we are convinced, and this is why I call it the people's fiscal policy, because we have a lot of things to do in this country. We are not going to, the people themselves are not going to a second round election. We will save that money. We will save that money to construct schools. We will save that money to construct hospitals. We will save that money to pave our roads.
I know you want that money to be saved, right? To construct schools, to pave roads. But don't you ever forget that those people who are gravitating, who are coming out, when the president appears anyway, are not the only people who are going to vote. What are you doing to get those other people who are, on the fence, who are, just watching? Maybe they belong to another political party. They are not convinced it's going to, win the elections. How do you get them? Because you need 50 plus 1.
Yeah, we're going to get more than that. And this is
what makes you so sure?
Well, then I will tell you why. This is some of the things we are doing. And I would think when it comes to the other candidates, I don't think the CDC is bothered about those. I would think the opposition folks should be the ones actually bothered about the other candidates. Yes, why? Let's take a few people, for instance. Tiwa Konglo may like they pick up few votes. Tiwa Konglo something may like they pick up few votes from Nimba County, and the votes he will be picking up from Nimba County will be taken from the Baka camp, there where he will take up some of the votes. He's not the CDC vote there is good because you can see now. From this is the thing. This is the thing. All of these people are in one bracket of the pile. And that's the opposition camp. So if they were to share numbers, they will be sharing their numbers. So it tells you
your numbers are fixed.
Not just fixed, it's increasing by the day.
Oh yes.
Because of things that are happening.
Sure.
So I tell you one, Tier one Gongo for this thing. It's going to pick up some votes in Nimba, and the votes is going to be picked up. We're going to be coming from the opposition camp now. One is it Maduba, whoever is in
Harry.
One of the candidates who is in Lofa County. He's not going to be picking up CDC votes. He's going to be picking up opposition votes. The little votes that he had is why they will be standing around. Simply because it tells you like I've said again, these people are in one bracket and the governing party is in one bracket. They are from the opposition side. And the thing here is, those voting for President Weah are voting for President Weah on tangibles. Now, if you ask anyone, go on the street, why are you voting for President Weah as compared to why are you voting for some other candidate somewhere? Now, they will only say mostly President Weah should be one-term president. That is not a basis why we want you to vote against us.
Sure.
One-term president, we want you to vote against on the basis of what you will do better than what we are doing. But if you don't have no plan telling anybody why you will do better now, if the president is having tuition-free policy, and you think it's bad, tell us why you're going to do good. Now we understand you want to take, if a former vice president was on the radio, he talked about downsizing the government. He talked about taking people out of job. He talking about dismissing a lot of people who are today working.
He wants to have a small government.
Well, and he
says he says your government put a lot of people on the payroll.
And this is where we should go. And before you come, this is where we should go. Now, let's go by the fact. These are some of the things that I think we always need to ensure we get to put in reality. Number one, from the start that I've seen, when before the UP-led government came, government payroll, number of persons was around 28,000, 27,000. It went up to some 67,000 during that time.
Yeah.
During that time, payroll amount was some 100 million. It went up to 150 something. When we came in, what we did, from my understanding, as of today, we have about 70,000 employees.
Yeah.
That would tell you that we may have added about 3,000. Now, why did that happen? If you were to ask me, my dear, the budget was 500 million. We took it up to 700 million. To do that, there will be a lot of other activities that will generate these resources, and you need HIMO to drive these things. Now, they always say that our government came and they always refer to the harmonization process that we did to be they keep lying to the people around. Now, that was fairness. For me, I don't like to use harmonization as a word. I always like to use the word fairness as a word. If I'm a deputy minister at Youth and Sports and my AA is making $500, for instance, why should a deputy minister at Information's AA be making $2,000? So it was to bring parity among people and ensure similar work got similar pay so that the country can be at the
So you think the United Party wasn't honest when it comes to the job description salary?
No. There was massive.
That's why you're trying to change. So they see the change in that to be how you call the word just now?
The harmonization process, they see it to be something else, but we see it as fair.
Well, that's equity. That's equity. If I don't think the former vice president should talk about downsizing. He doesn't have that moral. He doesn't stay on that moral ground to do that, because Madam Selif several times talked about resizing and reducing the size to increase efficiency and productivity in government. We saw government payroll going up. It never went down. It tells you that the former vice president is not even acquainted with contemporary realities of government. The United Party government had a massive salary discrepancy. There were people in United Party who, if you go to this ministry, were making a lot of money, 10,000, 7,000, and other ministers and other people in other ministries were making far below that. Those discrepancies were resolved as a result of the reform instituted by President Weah. And the harmonization brought a lot of equity to the payroll. And I think we should be happy as Liberians. Because if I have master degree and you have master degree and we're working at two separate institutions in government, why should you be making 5,000 and I'm making 1,000? So what difference? What is the major difference in your qualification, competence, and experience that you're being rewarded 5,000 and I've been underpaid? This is why I had made the Unity Party angry, because they are used to ensuring discretionary policy. That is, the minister will decide how much a particular person make. Unlike now, we have policy. The minister cannot decide. It's a policy issue. So if the minister wants to pay a particular individual who has been hired for this ministry, you revert to the policy and the payroll structure, which brings equity. I think these are the reasons why George Weah should be elected for another 6 years, because the reforms that he wants to bring to government takes away some of those things that create divide amongst the people.
Okay, let's welcome Daniel Nooks Thomas. Daniel, thank you for being very late, and welcome to Open Conversation.
Well, thank you very much, Titi, and thank you also to my colleagues that has been keeping the time. As a matter of fact, my lateness is as a result of, we have a mandate. Our district engagements cannot be quieted. We need to continue these district engagements so that the numbers that we need in terms of the voting population it's become, it's made possible.
Okay.
So I think that's why I'm here at this time, and I think it's important.
The man's still, campaigning.
Of course, never ends.
Since you're talking about district engagements now, let's talk about your September 7 rally.
Mm-hmm.
Since you already started with district engagements, because I know that will lead to September 7. What are you up to? What is the CDC up to? What do we expect to see on Thursday?
Well, first of all, I came in and there was this very interesting topic that was being discussed by my colleagues, and I just want to
weigh in on that, right?
Yes, okay, correct. Before going to the district, okay. I like the way my colleague puts it when he talked about this discretionary allowances that were being made available. But there's also something that we've done that has kept the sanctity amongst our people. So from 2005 to 2017, the wage bill that was at 27,000, other Unity Party government was up to 60,000. And the entire time, currently it's around 70. It's around 67,000, it's around 70,000 now. But what we did that is more intriguing and interesting is that we brought a balance. The kind of balance that talked about equity in terms of labor. All right. I listened to the former vice president a few weeks ago when he talked about if he becomes president and there are 500 persons in a particular place, he reduced the number by 400, keeping 100 persons. We would have done the same when we came. We met with 2,500 health workers that were dependent on what we call a health pool that was being funded by donor partners. When Bwaka admitted there was a donor fatigue in the process, which means that donors were not spending money anymore. We had to incorporate these people because they were families, they were Liberians too. So in order to equate to that level, we had to do what we call a merger. At a point in time, we had two different salaries. We had the one by statutory responsibilities that was established by the CSA, and we had this discretionary allowance, which of course some of us who work in government at a point in time, we were sad about it, but we had to go through that. I was here. I mean, we saw all of these things as well. And in the end, we were able to breach that gap between the man who is the minister's little brother, but he's got a bachelor's degree in making $500, and the man who is not a minister's brother has got a bachelor's degree in making $250. So I just want to add that we didn't remove people off the payroll. Those that are on discretionary allowances were not on our CSA. But what did we do? We incorporated them on our CSA to give a margin as to how our people are treated in terms of our democracy. I just want to establish that. So I can now move on to the big question. CDC as a party, before becoming a coalition for democratic change, it's just like the Progressive Alliance of Liberia in 1975, noted as a grassroots party that constitutes the overarching masses of the ordinary Liberian people. The issue of crowd is a genuine factor for us because we don't need to have, fake people in our midst to say we're just going to show numbers. February 4th, we saw what we did at the same 8 years. The renomination exercise of the president, we saw all of our people, even ordinary Liberians who did not subscribe to the party's philosophy, they came all out in their numbers for several reasons. Some of them came up because of the policies that the president put in place that has helped their children to keep them in the different public universities. Some of them came out because they had the capabilities of going to a decent market hall instead of a stall.
So they came to say thank you.
Which
is a good thing to do. My mother always said to me that if somebody does something good for you, say thank you.
Correct.
This is a different case. There are other people in the race. Those people who came to say thank you, do you think they're coming back to say the president will elect you?
Yes. I tell you what, this is a generational change. They're coming back because they're convinced that the reasons they said thank you yesterday must be a continuous one. They're now weighing facts, tangibles, versus imaginative policies that has not even been on paper. So the man who's in NIMBA, that's attending the NIMBA Community College with all of the upgrades and one of you, would definitely believe that he will say thank you to the president, want to re-elect this president, because he's made several opportunities available in Nima County for him as a student who has seen it in the real time.
Don't you think he will believe that if Joseph Boakai comes to power, he can continue, or Cummings comes to power?
No, he can't.
Joseph Boakai was in power.
Exactly, he can't because
he was in power.
Because 12 years ago, the mayor who's in Nima Community College right now, with all of the essences being established and the real time happenings, that you see, the first thing, what is affecting this administration positively, TT, is the technological evolution.
What is that supposed to
Correct. I'll make it easy. So 12 years ago, the issue of Facebook Live and real-time happening of things, TT had to go to Nima County to have a first-hand feel of what is happening. Today, that's not the case anymore. That time, politics was tribalistic because you just say what I just say until I go see. Today, the guy in Soge can sit down, get on his Facebook page and see the real-time developmental happening. So it's not just a thank you on the basis of what they heard, it's a thank you on the tangibles that are being done. So September 7, the multiple mammoth crowd you're going to see, because mammoth just won. It's a clear indication that President Weah has got a consent of the Liberian pool for the next 6 years.
Okay, let me hear you two in 1 minute each, and then we'll go to the last topic before we open up the lines.
Sure. But Titi, I don't want us to use will. We are already seeing it.
Yep.
The president has been campaigning. Rain, sun, he's there. Everywhere he goes, you see people, you see him up in sometimes you want to ask, are the people really living in this country? Where are they coming from? Are they in a hole somewhere or was it? Now, it tells you that these people eyes are wide open to the realities of the land.
So what should we expect on Thursday?
Well, like I said, let us not
Is it a CDC
let
day?
us say, no, it is not just a CDC day, it's Liberia's day. September 7th will be when Liberia will stand still. Now, Titi, February, listen, every corner you pass on will be tsunami of human beings. You know, the ATS, in my view, is just the official ground where, let me say, they say the launch will take place, but the actual launch is going to be taking place everywhere in this country. Because if you had a vehicle that runs past, maybe plane or anything, you leave, and if you were to go to Broadville, you will ask if the launch is also taking place there. If you were to leave and go to McGibby, you will be asking if the launch is taking place there.
Is it going to be happening,
No.
Okay.
The official launch is at the ATS.
Okay.
But because of the human capacity, the ATS will be small. It will be like small place. But you know the ATS is big. Because of the amount of people that will be coming outside, you will be asking as to if this launch is taking place simultaneously.
How prepared are you for this?
Well,
because
the
kind of crowd you intend to put out, might be, troubling for your own partisans, because we know when people come out like that, do you have fire trucks all over where water will be wasted on people? Are you thinking about that?
Those modalities have already been, in fact, they've been worked on. You see, we've had several different rallies, and every time we have one, we learn. So the last one we had was a thank you rally.
Okay.
At the party's headquarters. If you were there, you see that we had a water truck that was stationed, because we understood that a lot of people that's going to go out, the congestion, the body heat, all of that, people obviously go off. And we're able to manage that situation to reduce the panic level as it involves with the crowd. Also, there were different gatherings that supported the organization of our people. So if you went at the time, you went down to Bernard's Beach, there was another mass gathering, all right? Because the congestion level at the headquarters was so huge to the extent that divergence had to take place. As a result, we were able to manage that.
Is that similar to happen this coming
We are prepared for that.
We are prepared for that, and also we have to ensure that our people are protected, the people are safe. So and the thing is, in the history of the CDC, we've dealt with a crowd of people over and over and again. So we have the experience to deal with the number of persons who will show up on the 7th of September. So if you have any activity, I could advise that if you have activity to go to town on the September 7th, it will be good to postpone that activity because the human tsunami will happen on the 7th of September. Yesterday, we had over 1,400 auxiliaries at the party headquarters having a rally. So there will be a massive gathering,
and
convergence.
Those are just persons in the leadership structures of these auxiliaries.
Yes,
it tells you something.
Yes, so the CDC will have.
How do you manage to do all of this? Gather, your auxiliaries. We're told that they're over 1,000. And last night, there was a huge gathering at your party headquarters. There are reports, from your critics that your party chairman, Molba Molu, the president is not happy with Molba Molu. But we still see, that you guys gather like that. What is going on? Is it true that the president is not happy with Molu?
The very critics you're talking about are the very same people who will criticize roles. These are the very same people who will criticize education. These are the very same people who will criticize everything you think about. So it is okay. One good thing, President Weah has unleashed freedom of expression in this country, where anybody can say anything and nobody will go after it. That's the reason why we don't have any political prisoner right now in our country. Maybe I would say unprecedented in our country's history. But let's forget about what critics say. But God, they've always said something. Anyways, this is a rebranded studio. Critics will come and say something simply because they know every good news president will do is something they want to find ways to criticize.
So everything is
but
good?
All of those things are just lies. Chairman Molba Molu is focused on ensuring that CDC as a party wins this election the first ballot, and that's the reason why he's going from district to district, from town to town, making sure our people get the flavor of September 7th. But critics is okay. President, we have brought the issue of free speech. They can talk. Nobody will come after them. That's the good thing we're enjoying. And my brother was in flight. I wanted him to continue, but I think just wanted to put that there.
Yeah, but Isaac, Titi, before you come in, Isaac, Chairman Molu is somebody who is grounded in the CDC. And the president has relied on his support for the last several decades. And we know the diversionary tactics that have been deployed by the opposition. We know where the propaganda originates. There has been, because, there are a group of diasporans, Liberians who, especially hailing from Lofa County, who are concerned about the tape that's recorded, who can elaborate more, that's been circulated, and this dark cloud that hangs over the country raises a serious concern, and to divert people's attention from that, we know the tactics that these guys are playing. So
okay, so that's why they bring the Molu issue, you believe, right?
Yes.
So let's go to the tape now.
So but can I put a little spin?
Okay.
On
find the tip.
Yeah, right. But we are not spinning here. We're saying a weird truth.
No, I'm going to put a spin on it because
it is the other people from the side who want to spin everything.
No, I'm going to put a spin on this because it's classic enough to note that everything we're saying here is the fact.
On the real fact.
Correct. Right. So propaganda nowadays, 2017 TT, this is a complete copycat of their last 2017 campaign propaganda.
You believe so?
Correct. But it's I still remember, I'll give you an example. The coalition of democratic change, the issue of us having cows and sharing meats, food and stuff, and we're having these occasions, it's not new, right? 2017, it came up with circular. They said the cows that the CDC is going to be slaughtering, when you eat that cow, I put it in Liberia English, you eat that cow there, the guys will put a came from India, they put a cow in Mali. The human souls in the cow. When you eat that cow, you feel pain, you die. 2017, the same thing. Today, what are they doing? They're putting people in our midst, and not propaganda, physical propaganda. When the president goes to a particular place, they put 5 persons on the side of the road to jam boo. It's not a new thing. So it's just unfortunate that after Madam Sharif left, the intellectual class of the United Party exited along with Madam Sharif. And as a result, those that are left, the remnants of individuals that are running the party's propaganda, is just on the basis of bow and kick. And they're getting nowhere. So we know these things. These are the tactics that they've always played.
And just to add up to you, of very recent, you saw something circulating Facebook about $50 million budget.
Yeah, exactly.
$50 million. That was another exactly. Yeah, even for me, I was angry. I thought I was angry. Listen, if you want to go down,
Where you get all that money from?
That's a good question.
For me, I was angry. I was angry. The citizen, by real, got close to 100,000 auxiliaries. Each of the auxiliaries, in my mind, if I would think, okay, maybe they need 5,000 to run, that would mean we need some $500 million to run our campaign. So if our own campaign manager can reduce it to 50 million, then I'm angry. But you know what? On a real note, it only tells you how these people got nothing to talk about. Now, where is CDC coming from with 50 million? They went in their corner, get on the computer and post something there and say they put it outside. The same thing when we did the same thing. They say, oh no, that. So okay, you keep using what I'm saying. So it only tells you these people got nothing to run on. Now you will just come and fabricate anything and coming and we can go. Okay, yeah. Thank you. And you know, my brother, what his name?
Daniel.
I know we're coming to talk about the tape issue. But before that. Daniel was saying something. I wanted to make sure I got the real text here. You know, we've confirmed from our own intelligence bureau and from people who are on the ground into these, happenings, meetings, that our friends from the United Party have had some kind of a meetings in Nimba County, where they are deciding to plant people within our rally when the president goes to campaign in Nimba, just so they can come and say, boo, chaos. Then they will come and take it from there. Now, in our mind, we think such things are dangerous for our country. We should run our campaign on the basis of issues and not just bringing these tactics that will scare people around and maybe result into chaos. We want to talk to our young people who most of the time are the ones being used to avoid these things. Don't allow any greedy politician to use you for their self-gain. At the end of the day, it only affects you, your own life. Now, if you want to campaign, come and tell us what you do, what you've done. Let's listen to you. Let the other man come and do the same, and then the people go and make decisions.
Correct.
What are you afraid of? Why can't you come there and tell the people what you will do and let the next man come and say his own? Why will you want to go and hire people to go and plant them and do all of these things? We think such is dangerous, and we should definitely avoid doing so.
Okay, we already eating into the time of the people who should be calling, but we're going to play these two recordings, the one from Jeremiah Cohen, the one from Senator Prince Johnson. We hear your thoughts.
So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. I'm buying pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he himself said, he said, when you win, you run for one term. He himself said it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else. In my mind, he should rest. Find somebody. The meeting you had was last night. You are on a straight order from George ready to kill me in the country. They attacked my family, they wounded most of them in the car. I had meeting last night, that one. But I want you to be careful. We are fighting for Nimba County to take the lead. And Nimba will win. In the name of Jesus. Basa with us. Bapolu with us. Bombing with us. Lofa with us. Bon County with us. What is your problem? Then you on the radio on me. Hey, my brother, what I do?
All right.
You gotta change. Because you know your voice cannot cover the whole berege. We're fighting for you. Equals our mama. Nimba will win. Abio bato. Abo meka pebe akokaroji. E kwaze ido ubon. and we did it. We are fighting for you. We're begging you people. If you make the man disgrace, or it will be good for you. When you turn to the man against our prayer for you to produce vice president, the old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then that Kun will be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then that Kun will be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. Then that Kun will be doing the job for you. Can he go everywhere? No.
So there you go.
Yeah, right.
Let's talk about the sincerity of this.
Right. That's why I said earlier on that this country has graduated from the past and we will always be going towards the future. We're not going to turn back. I think this is personal to me. Some of us who were, very little during the war years, we may have seen actually what happened, but we did read and we've seen clips and some other stuff. Let's be real. Does anyone listening to these two recordings who think this is just coincidence? One person just a few months ago was alluding to the fact that he knows by 2023, Mr. Boykai's brain will be declining. And then his political godfather is telling you that if these people win, the Omer is, you think he will do the job? Now, we know one thing, that the vice president of our country is never the one to do the job of the president. That only tells you there is something more than just what you hear. If Senator Johnson, who of course we all know the history from the past, can tell you that this Omer is old if he wins, isn't it the vice president who will be doing his job? It means that vice president who will be in a certain capacity to do the job of a president, which we all know our constitution does not work that way. Once the president is alive and ready to move, the president will do his job unless we're in the president.
If he's incapacitated, then the vice president will do his job.
Then that's exactly what we're saying. That's why we are saying any rational.
So you think that Senator Johnson is planning to eliminate Ambassador
Let
Waka?
me not be the judge. Let the people listening to these two recordings be the judge. Now, let me come back again before my friends come in. One was made some 6 months ago, and the other recently. Now, these were secret calls. Nobody knew who have been recorded and brought to the public. One person saying, I supported this man 2017 because I know by 2023 he will be old. The brain will not be functioning good. He said that is normal. And then the next person said, this man is old. Let's not forget, the old and the old came together. If this man becomes president, you don't know that the man will be doing a job for the man. And you and I know the Constitution does not say that. I am not to be the one saying it, but any rational person who think beyond, put these two recordings together, look between them, and tell me this is just coincidence.
Okay,
we think it is dangerous. That's why the region is concerned about this. When I was coming in here, I read few articles from Nigeria and other places where they are placing some dark clouds on our democracy from these recordings, and we think our country will not go into the dark days. That's why our people will elect President Weah to ensure the peace we've enjoyed will continue to be enjoyed.
So let me come back to you two, and please let's keep it at 1 minute 30 seconds. I heard, Senator Johnson saying, if you make this man disgrace us, do you think it's going to be good? Is it about Senator Johnson? Is it about his desperation? What do you think?
I think that there are more to this recording because when we look at the chronology of the occurrence of the recording and what is being said, the running mate to Ambassador Boyka says exactly the same thing that Senator Johnson is saying. And we all know the history of this man. We don't need to read out his credential. Senator Johnson in our history is one of the dangerous people that we are aware of. And I have never seen or read anywhere to have a vice president who is ambitious. That is a threat to the president. That is a threat to the presidency, to the country, because a vice president should not have ambition. The vice president by law is only selected or appointed by the president to be able to assist the president. It spells out.
So you
clearly.
think Kuhn is ambitious to even accept to run as a mate to Ambassador Bwaka, having said all of what he said about him?
I think Kuhn and Senator Johnson have been having discussion, but I will leave that to the people of Liberia to decide, because the people are victims of the civil crisis. They know what is in stock. They know what Senator Johnson has been involved with, and I think this should be a clarion call to the opposition and to the people of Liberia to open their eye, to shine their eye at this time, that for a sitting senator to emphasize that this time is our time. This is Nimba County time. If we were to deduce what that means, it means we will spend the entire night. But it tells you that there are plans that about Ambassador Bwaka, if there is likelihood, because I don't see the possibility of Ambassador Bwaka beating Joseph His Excellency in any election.
Daniel, please, under 1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute 30 seconds.
Okay, let's go.
So I just want to look at this from a more analytical perspective. So if I recall history very clearly, since 1847 to 1945, Liberia was Monserrado, Grand Bassa, and Sino County. When the civil crisis came in 1990, it was between Nimba and Grand Gide. I listened to Prince Johnson's excerpt. There are two things I gathered from there, both of them: deception and desperation. And this is something that Liberians need to look out for. Why deception? Kuhn already realizes and recognizes Bwaka's inefficiency in terms of health and all of that. He made it clear. But he decides to go as running mate to him because it is the ultimate advantage of becoming president for a young man like that. And he's going to go 18 years if that ever happens. Secondly, why Nimba? Why is Prince Johnson saying Nimba is Nimba's time? Prince Johnson is still a divisive leader. We saw these divisions. That's why Bwaka only won Lofa. And that's why Prince Johnson Alliance has only been with Nimba. He won Lofa, sorry. And Prince Johnson only Alliance has been with Nimba. President Weah has made a difference. He's cut across the 15 political subdivision. The only president since the foundation of this nation that has toured the entire 15 political counties saying thank you to these people and left impacts in these different counties. But they limited Liberia to Nimba County and Lofa. Now they're saying that Nimbayans must vote we are out because it is Nimba's time. For what? When has Liberia become a country where 5 million people become a country reduced to one county? When? What becomes of the man who supports Bwaka's philosophy in Cape Mount County? In Bapolu County? So are we saying now that our country is going back in the days where the issue of leadership must only be focused on a particular county?
Is that what Senator Johnson is saying?
Yes, it's in all literal sense. That's what he said.
Okay.
He says Nimba's time, and if we allow President Weah to disgrace us in our place.
Okay.
He said they're coming. He said put Yomri aside. So they put Kosadem aside. What does that mean?
Yeah, he lobbied for months just to have,
Please give me 10 seconds quickly. Please.
So I mean, it's terrible.
I mean, I just wanted to say very quickly, I'm not, for me, I don't want to look at it from the basis of if it is a county's time or not.
But that's what you said.
I would think though that the time that countries and people have are just exactly what President Weah is doing in Nimba. It is Nimba time because development is going to Nimba. Nimba has been enjoying this government. Nimba has been enjoying this time. Yes, it is Nimba time. From that sense, we have road networks coming from Ganta going all the way to Wedju. We have the city built over there. Now, this is something you want to look at because Nimba as a county, they are good people. They are very hardworking people. They believe in
the Prince Johnson.
They believe
a good person.
We're talking about the people of Nimba.
No,
but the issue is Prince Johnson.
The issue is Prince Johnson.
The issue is
Prince Johnson.
No, listen. Prince Johnson said it is Nimbata in relation to the people.
And mention Yomi Kanga Lawrence.
And we
mention other people from other counties.
Daniel, 1 minute. please. 1 minute is okay. We are saying the people of Nimba have been having their time on a personal way, simply because development has been going on.
Okay.
I just wanted to
10 seconds, I'd like, you said something that, is very, very important, that people who support Ambassador Bwaka from different counties, Senator Prince Johnson doesn't take those people.
No, not at all.
It's all about him and him and him.
That is message. Yeah, that's his message.
That's the ideology.
Exactly. So let's take calls. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Go ahead, sir. What's your name and where you call from?
Hello?
Go ahead, sir. What's your name?
When you move away from the noise, then it will be better for you.
Mm-hmm. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Washington, today, and our studio guests.
Go ahead, Amsterdam.
Yeah, thank you for your recognition. And Washington, let me just podcast my brother in studio. They talk on the issue of the 15 million. Look, the person, as chairman for We Are One Round Victory, today my organization hasn't been registered from the party because we were told that we have almost 2,000 SRO group just in Montreal County. So we are doing what we do on our own. 1, 2, our brothers said the issue of no God moving the presidency. That's true. And in my district, I hear from Grandfather County Electoral District, full in Vincent Wade District. I have few of my guys that I have that the people want to give them $250 to go and boo the president. Then when I went to the children call me and say, but this
you got 10 seconds to learn, please.
Yes, thank you very much. So these are the things our brothers are doing. So they are not saying anything that they will do for this country, but they get there to cause for. But let me say this with my brother Thomas and that never do.
Thank you,
Thank you, Thomas. Good
you
evening.
got 30 seconds when you.
Good evening, good evening to Washington. Good evening to your
Good evening.
My name is Professor from Ghana. I'm from Maria. Let me say thank you to Mr. Boo and King here. So I'd like to ask since we are going to do your research because normally we get to Australia radio system. There was a letter I was read on the OKF happening show with Georgia for our foreign affairs minister, Imasa Kevin, has standing unfortunate on behalf of the government of Liberia, giving right to give. And they had a worst thing to say about the students when critics were calling on the show today. And that's my children will call it in God and so say you might back along with the pastor and daughter my phone. It's some people and it's saying a lot of register about our top officials. So I want the grouping skills not to follow the media and when people are speaking ill, it shouldn't just be us. Because when it comes to other local people, they don't get all the time to speak one when they accuse the woman, they get it opportunity to be able to speak ill about the government. So thank you for asking us.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening.
You have a disturbing background, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Go ahead. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, thank you. Let me say good evening to you in Washington and you and TT, Mr. Washington. This is Bobby. I will make a joint discussion from District Center Estikoboro. Let me appreciate your guests for defending that salary. No, the thing is written in the war is clear and crystal clear, and then we call the let it can pay the people. We are agree and we resolve to carry our own.
Okay,
so
thank you, Bobby. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where you call from?
Let me say we need to Washington and we need to Daniel. Now we need to everything everywhere. Only for discussion or face something. Again, we tell you, let's say discussion, they are saying that we want to be really let us know that. We are saying always.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Hello.
Yes, good evening, sir.
What's your name and where you call from, sir?
My name is Mo Adam, and I call from the GS0 community.
Go ahead, sir.
What I want to say is that I don't think the life for someone to ascend to a position
should depend on the life of another person. So I think it is wrong. The senator need to come back to take that statement back. Nima County is a good county. They are good people. Their senators to power does not depend on the life of another person.
Simple.
So I think we, as a country, we should take note and vote wisely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take this caller. Good evening. Good evening.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. My name is Summerhill Carter, calling from the police academy beyond. This recording that was put on the social media and we have been captured by media institutions is so shameful for Nimba County. And it doesn't represent the people of Nimba. It doesn't represent the intent of the people of Nimba to democratically take the seat of our country. I don't think this is it. In fact, but more to this, this is even is under it had the proclivity to undermine our democracy. You see, this statement alone has placed a fight within the camp of Joseph Boakai. Those who are supporters of Senator Johnson and Jeremiah Kuhn on the other hand, those who are supporters of Joseph Boakai on the other hand, those who are supporters of Nyobi Kanga Lawrence on the other hand, they will be fighting. In the worst case scenario, there will be a fight and our democracy will be at stake. I don't think that this is good. I don't think this is good for our country. And Johnson needs to come on the air and withdraw his statement and tell the Liberian people that he was wrong. And this is not the intent of Nimba County, and this should not be the intent of Nimba County, claiming the prerogative of our country.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. We will take one, two, three more.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where you call from?
Yeah, this is Jake and he called from Sogene before.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I want to talk on our voice that recording about Prince Johnson. We should not take it there. The Congress should not take it there. Prince Johnson is a whole rebel. CRC report says Prince Johnson is a notorious criminal. So nobody should take him to reform. Prince Johnson still have a lot of manpower in the country that he can make them to cause problem.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. We've got just 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes to end the show. So I think we'll take one more caller and then we'll come back to you.
Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Very fine, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where you call from?
I'm calling from Zedu West. I'm Mrs. Taylor calling from Zedu West.
Okay, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. You see, they still just take into consideration the silent voters because they are all posting what they said, and they are not talking. But it come authority, they are going to vote. So they take into consideration also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. We're not taking calls anymore on this. We're coming back to you, listen to the callers. And so we'll share the time. We've got 6 more minutes.
Yeah,
so
sure.
1 minute, 30 seconds each.
Thank you. Let me just add quickly. Someone called, I think the first or the second caller talked about the issue of some document the foreign minister signed. I don't want to give credence to that. Before coming, that was something I decided to personally go after. That's from what I've gotten is that's lie. I don't know anything of such now. if a government does anything out, I mean, it becomes
public document.
You see all around, and that's some of the propaganda you hear around. I don't believe all of these itchy things you hear around. They are all propaganda.
Is that all the Unity Party is ready now?
Oh well, that's
the reason.
And to end again, let me say what Senator Johnson said on that tape. Even if he takes it back, it would just be on the basis of voice. But what he actually means deep in his conscience, exactly are those things he said. That's the reason why we must vote President Weah for more development. We must vote President Weah for peace. We must vote President Weah for the future of our country. Thank you.
Okay, and what I think is, Ambassador Waika needs to also distance himself from this recording. He needs to ask some questions, because all of the color and the concerns across the country right now is that this is a serious threat, and it's a kind of dark cloud that hangs over the Unity Party candidate, and I think it brings fear to the process for them. But going beyond that, we are preparing for our official launch on the 7th. Seditians and Liberians across the country. And there are several people who were assembled, and we are putting in modalities to make sure that our people come to the launch of the official campaign, and we ensure that President Weah will be elected on a first ballot. We are not going to a second round, meaning that we are resolved as a people to ensure that the fiscal policy is implemented by the people. You know, President Weah, the people want to see the continuation of a tuition-free policy. The people want to see the expansion of our roads. The people want to see the macroeconomic stability of our country. We want to see, because the World Bank has projected that agriculture will see a boom. We want to see the agriculture sector seeing boom so that people can get jobs. And President Weah, as I want to conclude to say to you, remains a wet dream in the eyes of the Liberian people that everybody wants to experience for the second term. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So before I conclude, I'd just like to first of all say thank you to all of the many callers for their input. Even those who agreed and those who disagree, is important. This is democracy. We can respect that. I am very convinced that these latest revelations of the closets of the people that a lot of Liberians thought, especially those in opposition, were true leaders to them, they're now seeing that these people are only introverts politically. They're only supporting their own interests. If you look at the Unity Party, just after the 2017 elections, the party was dormantly dead. It took other folks like Costa and the rest of the other brothers to get the essence. Senator Johnson admitted in his recordings. He said it very clear. He said, I worked 5 months to get people like Yombli Osa, Costa there. They have been aware of exactly what you're doing. But there's another part. If you have a leader who believes that he's the new deal of a country, but this is a leader that sheds the people that folded his feathers over the period of time and made him strong when times were wet, just for somebody who he believes that can deliver multitudes to him. There's a difference between multitude and genuine people. What Unity Party is suffering right now is that there's no more genuinity. Every individual of Unity Party, they're seeking their own personal interest away from that standard bearer that they're pushing. And because of this, Liberians are holistically aware that they are not prepared to handle the affairs of this country. And for that reason, we are going to ensure that President Weah gets elected on the first ballot. So help us God. That's the reason why every day and night we're on our feet and our people are resolved. We have one of the greatest political strategies. Our auxiliaries are making the awesome sacrifices day and night to ensure that our numbers remain intact. Interesting to note, you're going to change the political history of Montserrat. George Weah is going to win Montserrat County.
Thank you.
Put me on record now. President George Weah is going to win Montserrat County as a sitting president. So we're going to change that philosophy that says that when you're in the opposition, you win Montserrat. When you become
as a sitting president.
Hey, don't worry, we're going to win Montserrat County. So thank you, guys.
Tanya Nooks Thomas, thank you so much. Mr. Yanti, thank you, and thanks to Isaac Doe. for sitting with us this evening on Open Conversation. I think it was a splendid presentation.
Thank you, Titi.
Wish you guys all the best as you continue to campaign.
Same to you, to all the team, Michael Carr and the rest of the people. Thank you very much.
Okay. Join us, God willing, tomorrow evening for another edition of Open Conversation. My name is Titi Gibra. My colleague is
Washington Tapper. Thank you very much.
Have a pleasant evening.
Bye-bye.
From the east, from the east to the west, north to the south, let's come together.